Introductions.
No.
I'm Nick.
I'm Dan.
Schmeagin.
Oh
and
my god.
Schmeagin. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm fine with it.
Are you?
We're
Are
just
you really
Schmeagin.
though?
Listen, I've known you guys for as long as I have. I just know when to
What
leave
does
things
that
alone
mean?
and let the dice roll. Okay?
I've known you as long as I
There's
have.
no point in trying to take down a wall with my bare hands.
Well, Schmeagin, just to answer that is a statement that sounds like it means something, but ultimately means absolutely nothing.
Good politician there.
Exactly.
You want to intro the...
So this is episode 4 of the Fat Earth Society, and we are not doing anything else on Zoroastrianism. We decided to switch lanes.
We don't need to tell them that.
Well, too bad. We told them. So
If you're tuning in just now, we're not doing the previous episode, just in case you're
oh
wondering.
no, the previous episode is going up.
Are you sure?
It is. Yeah.
Sometimes.
But the previous episode is not this episode.
That'll be an exclusive for our Patreon members.
Yes, the secret lost episode.
Yes.
Yes.
The Lost to the Sands of Time. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that. And today we are going to be talking about instead the... What was that, Schmeagin?
The Freedomites.
You see how ridiculous it sounds? I should just call you by your real name.
Yeah,
No, his real name
Schmeagle.
is Schmeagel.
You're not Schmeagel.
Oh, he's
Please.
Schmeagel. He's Schmeagel.
God damn it. Oh,
Okay.
God. Okay, so...
The Freedomites.
The Freedomites. So who are the Freedomites? Geographically, where are we?
It starts with the Doukhobors.
Who's that?
Doukhobors?
Who's that guy?
They were, so it's a group. It's a
it's
peasant
a-
group in southern Russia, the Volga-Oka Basin. You
The
wanna-
Volga-Oka Basin?
Yes.
Wait, so this is the Doukhobors are a group of people.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so is it Doukhobors or Doukhobors or...
He says it best.
Doukhobors.
Okay, that makes more... Because I was hearing Duke, so...
No Duke.
No Duke, not a Duke.
Gatto, pezzo di cazzo, vieni giù da lei immediatamente. Guarda, se tu pisci sulle cose dei miei amici, guarda, tu vai fuori.
That was actually addressed at a
I'm sorry,
series
I'm
of
just
cats.
screaming.
that
My
were-
cats only understand Sicilian dialect. I'm sorry.
Do they?
Yeah, that's all he's
When I'm
calling.
angry, I speak in Sicilian dialect to them. Vienka! Vienka!
Okay.
Giù dal frigorifero.
17th century.
There we go.
They were a people of pacifism and believed God resided within each human being.
Oh, I'm sorry. God doesn't reside within each human. God only resides in the God King. Or the Tsar, okay? God's not within.
I was
each
I was
of us.
expecting something a little bit wittier than the God King.
Oh, no, it's
God
the Tsar.
doesn't. God's not in everybody. God's in the God King. That is the God. That's who the God
Yep.
King is. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
The king, emperor is preordained by God.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
That's it. No one else has God in them, okay? Why do you think they go to church?
I just.
Why do you think they go to church?
I was expecting
What
less
do you
of like a
think this is?
bootlicky response from you.
Yeah. It's reality.
Is it?
It's the truth.
I think it's anime.
Yeah.
You know, that's some sort of anime plot twist.
Probably wouldn't if they just owned that and it was like, no, regular people don't have God in them. No.
just that guy.
Individual
The guy that already has all the power also has all the God. It's like, can anyone else get some God? No.
Yeah, human endeavor isn't a thing. Just don't
Only
starve.
the God
Okay?
can.
There you go. That's it. I'm joking.
Really?
We're all wonderful individuals.
Yeah.
Okay. Except for some of us.
They called themselves God's people and had 7 unique characteristics. Ready?
All right.
Number 1, their ecstatic form of worship, which included singing, dancing, and prophesizing.
What a bunch of fucking freaks, really? They're dancing? Dancing? How can you dance in like wooden clogs? That's my question, because they're probably poor peasants that couldn't afford good shoes, so I don't know, it might have sounded just like a billiards hall whenever they started dancing.
Number 2, they're strict.
You missed the prophesizing. It was just like singing and dancing. Oh, okay, that's normal. Most people do that. And then they also just prophesize.
Prophesizing, whatever. I mean,
I guess you already do that, so it's like whatever.
yeah, everyone prophesizes. I mean, for instance, we were hanging out with a friend of mine in like in high school actually, and his crazy uncle was living with his mom.
Yeah.
And this crazy uncle, who was arrested for bringing a gun to school, so he got kicked out of school.
Okay.
So his education ended at like 7th grade. So he had a whole whiteboard in the living room that
Yep.
was just nothing but mathematics from the Bible to
Okay.
calculate
Yep,
the end of days.
Bible math. We've all been
Bible
there.
math.
We've all
This guy
done
was
Bible
actually
math.
doing it.
Yep.
Also, we all smoked a bowl in like my friend's room, so
Yeah.
we were high.
You were
and
high,
then we were
looking
sitting
at
around
Bible math. That's
while
dangerous.
this greasy-haired dude was like jumping up and down in the living room, telling
Okay.
us about the end of days.
Yep.
And let me tell you something: church is better when you're high.
That's
Was that the point?
Yes.
That was the
Yeah.
point. Just get stoned and
Yeah,
go to church.
I don't know. I'm here for tangents and making fun of whatever you say, so I'm doing my job swimmingly tonight.
There's 7 lists, and we've got that for number 1. What was it? Get high and go to church?
Yeah, get high, go to church.
Yes.
Okay.
Get high for Jesus.
Number 2, there's strict asceticism.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence.
Wait, but they also okay.
Well, isn't dancing a form of indulgence?
That's what I would say. I would imagine that, like, I feel like you're having fun.
No.
What if it's
No.
that like weird
Like boring
Pentecostal? Yeah. What if it's that weird sort of like Pentecostal dancing where it's not really expressive or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're just exerting a lot of physical energy and going.
I think that's speaking in tongues.
Well, I can tell you what they didn't do. It's sex, alcohol, and swearing.
Okay, so they didn't do any sex.
No sex.
That sounds like
Huh.
a great way to not have any more people. I don't know.
It sounds
I
like
love
a
these
lie.
religious cults, like especially during like the American like religious Renaissance, where they had all kinds of like different churches pop up, religions
Yeah.
come up, like Shakers and Quakers. Not specifically the Shakers and Quakers.
I like that
but,
line.
like,
Shakers and Quakers.
Shakers, Quakers, and Candlestick Makers. And then yeah, so
Yeah.
you were just floored over there.
I
with
was
that.
very floored. That was a oh boy.
So I can't remember. There was one guy that tried to assassinate a president who, not the guy who assassinated Lincoln, but another one that
yeah.
joined one of those cults where I think it was like you couldn't have sex to have kids or something. You had to you could have sex. You just couldn't orgasm. Like
You can only have sex for pleasure. None of this procreation bullshit.
no, I think there were some things that were in that vein. Like they just went completely opposite.
Yeah,
I
but see,
cannot
like
remember.
that is the opposite
Was
of
it the-
what this
was it the
religion
Mennonites?
is. I seriously doubt it was Mennonites.
not Mennonites. No, it was in upstate New York though, which I've been up there. I can totally believe that.
I mean,
There's some sad shit going on up in upstate New York.
yeah.
It's like fucking Fargo for people from Boston up there. It's
All right,
unbelievable.
that's enough of dunking on upstate New York. I think they're like half of our fan base. But the point is,
Yeah.
the point is that I feel like it's a hard sell when you're like, well, my religion is going to like involve not having any type of sex, but you
took
can
away one
like
of the main
sing
food
and
groups.
dance in church.
And prophesize.
Oh yeah, and prophesize.
What does prophesize technically entail?
You explained it to us. Apparently, it's getting high and going to church.
No, that's just making the best out of a bad situation. No, like probably were they like just spouting off and thinking,
Also,
oh,
I'm
when's
not
the
sure
world
if
gonna
we're
end?
recording.
Or
Yeah, we are. It's still going.
Oh, is it still going?
I think so.
Franklin?
Yeah, the number's going.
I think you just hit something.
I don't know. It's
Oh,
not.
boy.
The thing isn't continuing.
Oh boy, here we go.
We don't know if it's
This
recording
is how
or
we're
not.
gonna.
This is.
Just pause.
No one's gonna hear this. Ideally. Oh God, no!
No, not Nick.
Franklin, I
No,
leave
not
it
Nick.
in just to prove how incompetent we are.
Oh my god, this touchpad's really slow.
It's a very slow touchpad.
Which one's the left?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, see-
Yes, it's going now. Okay, we were recording.
I think.
Yes, it's going now.
I mean, now it is recording, but
Yes.
but it wasn't doing that before, which is why I don't know.
Well, we got number 2. We didn't. I'll just say number 2 again.
All right, Franklin, we might have to whatever.
Number 2 is
Number 2 again.
They didn't have sex.
No sex.
No swearing.
No swearing.
No alcohol.
No sex, no swearing. Okay, you have to pick one, okay? You can either be able to swear like a sailor or you're not allowed to have sex, okay? Because if I'm not allowed to have sex, I'm going to be swearing up a fucking storm.
One.
Okay?
It's one or the other.
One or
I
the
need
other,
to be
guys.
able to say fuck or fuck. One of the two.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's very well put.
Yeah.
Number 3, their belief that their leaders were divine or divinely inspired.
Divine or divinely inspired. Okay.
That's quite a bit of a difference, though.
Yeah, he either is God or like he's really close to it.
He's
you
like, he
know?
really appreciates God. He's either God or, he's like a friend of God. Which,
Yeah.
is it also everybody God? So isn't that not like even that big of a deal?
Doesn't everyone have the little light of theirs inside
Right,
of them?
yeah.
I think
you know?
divine and having God inside you are 2 different things.
I mean,
Well, some ice cream tastes divine, but I don't think God's actually touched it. So I don't think God's out there touching cows.
I was going to call it
I'm pretty sure
stupid.
God's in all the ice cream. That's the rule.
That's Ben and Jerry's new logo. God's in
God came in our ice cream. Ah! God comes in every pint. All right, no.
Taste of God in every spoonful.
Yeah, I want merch of that. Please draw that.
Oh my god, yes. Merch will be up sometime this next decade, I think.
Okay, number 4.
All right.
Their conviction that the end of time was at hand. Doomsday.
I mean, that seems about
Yeah,
right. That seems appropriate.
We're not shocked or surprised.
Yeah.
Number 5. Their eschatology.
Okay. Whew, all right, just slow down now there, Seabiscuit. What did you say again?
Eschatology.
Eschatology.
You don't know what that means?
Yeah, Nick.
Nick
I think
doesn't
the
know
girl
what
with braces in
eschatology
elementary
means.
school screamed that at me once, but I mean...
It's the study of churches, duh.
the study
Stupid.
of churches themselves?
Church study,
Which
yeah.
represented them as the community of God's chosen people.
Yeah, because they study churches real good.
The Jews said that they were God's chosen people. It didn't work out for them, though. So, a lot of bad things happened to them, so maybe you shouldn't self-brand like that.
I feel like most religions are like we're God's chosen people because that's like a good brand. That's
Yeah.
it's like hey, God chose us.
Well, I mean, even America is like, God
Yeah.
loves America,
Yeah.
so God bless America.
Yeah. That's not like a terribly unique thing.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, that's just a religious way of saying, like, good luck, I think.
I think it's like we're the best.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
We're number 1.
Yep.
Number 6. Their external adherence to the orthodoxy.
Okay, yeah.
All right, yeah.
No
Agreed.
comment on that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, the
What do you mean
Orthodox Church.
external
I
adherence?
don't know. It's
Facts about orthodoxy. Hold on, I forgot my notes in the other room. Shit.
We don't need that yet.
Yeah, we don't.
No, that's a while.
he's-
That's a while.
he's
Come
going.
back.
He's. All right, his butt is on my head.
You're gonna miss the funny zinger at the end.
There's a good
Hold on, you're
zinger
gonna
coming.
wait for the fucking funny zinger.
Hey, James.
All right,
You having a good night? I hope you are.
I got the notes.
he got his notes. All right,
We don't
he's
need
coming
to-
back. He's coming back with his notes.
We're not going to talk about the orthodoxy yet.
No. Okay. All right.
I'm going to break something.
No. Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
break my ass.
number 7,
Numbers. Okay.
the
Yeah.
final one.
The final number.
The equal participation of women in the sect.
That's good. I
Okay,
mean,
so
that's
let me
not even, like-
understand. Okay, let me get one thing here. Let me understand something.
what?
So-
Feminism?
All right, so okay, women are equal. Cool. Points for feminism, but you can't have sex and you can't swear. What's going on here?
Everyone can have sex.
Yeah. No one can have sex.
No one can have sex.
No one can have sex.
You can't. No one can swear.
Yeah.
No one can say fuck.
But everyone cannot have sex.
Okay, so we're all fucked equal. Well, actually,
No,
no.
none of us are fucked because we can't say
exactly.
fuck and
So-
we can't fuck. So
Okay.
it's both of those things.
I would fail immediately. I'd get dunked in a icy pond immediately.
I mean, obviously, because you'd be going to church high and they would be like, "You're having way too much fun. Please leave."
I'm just going to say it wouldn't be dunking in ice. It'd be something a lot worse, which we're going to talk about later.
Yay! Okay.
Oh no.
So they believe that God took the form of a Kostroma peasant.
I almost thought you said coaster for a second. Like,
What is a Kostroma peasant?
It's a man who lives in Kostroma
Where is Kostroma?
in Russia.
Where in Russia?
You
I'm
expect
just saying, you're like, it's a Kostroma peasant. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Shout out to my boys from Kostroma. What up? You milk that goat.
it's a city in Russia, okay?
It's just a city in Russia.
I just assume they have goats.
I mean,
Okay,
they
Because
probably
Eastern
do.
Europe.
I'm going to butcher this name, so sorry anyone who's named this.
Okay.
Danilo.
What? Danny Lowe?
Danny Lowe.
Danny Lowe?
Your friend's name is Dan.
Yeah.
And
Okay, you try to
you
say
go
it.
to the store named Lowe's. I mean,
Danilo.
Dinnill.
DLNEO-OENELEO.
I'm going to stick with Danilo.
Danny Lowe.
Danny Lou.
Danilo Filipov,
Delonio.
right?
Delaniad.
That's the latest character in Jersey Shore.
I think it's
Delonio.
Delanio.
Who wants some of these garlic nuts?
I'm Delanio. I bring the garlic nuts.
Bring the
Bring the garlic nuts to the party.
Bring the garlic ties to the party.
Everyone likes them.
Hey, who wants some gabagool?
All
Okay,
right.
Danilo.
There's also like not from Jersey, is from Russia, and we're like, you know what? And he brings garlic nuts.
He's the one guy in a wife beater and a big crucifix around his neck.
Exactly. You call that a crucifixion?
So he was just a runaway soldier, but there is no documentary evidence to confirm that this man actually existed.
I mean, yeah, that sounds about right.
Like most people back then.
yeah.
The only evidence comes from letters written about the patriarch Nikon
Who also made very good cameras.
of Moscow reforms from the old believers. Nikon's main MO was to separate church from state, and that these two authorities should be working together on equal ground.
Wait. So separate, but they should be working together.
Yeah, but
They're in separate departments, but they communicate laterally, though.
Oh.
Just like when at work, if they don't necessarily want to fire you at work, but they want to kind of...
You guys, we need to separate church from state. So we'll put them in like different offices right next to each other.
Yeah, they're across the hall from one
Yeah,
another.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
not in the same office.
Yeah,
though.
they're completely separate.
Yes.
Yep.
he was not fond of the roost status of the clergy, but he was fond of gouging out eyeballs.
Well,
Hey, my guy, all right. Melon baller to the face. I like it.
But
Yeah?
It's misleading.
this was
a time.
misleading.
This was a time of new icons in the religion, and Nikon issued an order where soldiers searched every house looking for these counterfeits.
Oh, yeah, we have an icon right here in my house, actually. That's a Russian icon right there.
They
Yeah.
then proceeded to
What about
take
that?
out the
Yep.
eyeballs of all these icons and carry them throughout town.
Yeah, so that one still has eyes, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's still here. And it's also made out of, like, pressed cardboard.
You can
too.
still remove the eyes, though.
Nikon's gonna come here and like,
Yep.
Fucking shoot him in the face.
So
if he
why
could.
was
My
he
grandmother
stealing
gave that
the-
to me when I was a baby.
Why was he stealing the eyes of these things? Just like, is there a point
I'm
behind it?
gonna say mental illness.
You're
I don't say
You're
mental.
just gonna say mental illness.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Criminal Minds, so I'm an expert here. And whenever you see a serial killer, they're usually like scratching out eyeballs from their high school yearbook, and you know,
It's just, well, what's the explanation? You know what? It's weird. Mental illness. We'll just say mental illness. That's just what the explanation's gonna be.
yep. Don't at me, Putin.
don't have me. That's your catchphrase tonight. Okay, the actual punishment for the creators remains a mystery, but it would be severe. You can kind of guess what that means.
I mean,
Drawn and quartering by 76 elementary school students.
Whatever you want to believe.
I guess that.
I don't
would
know.
be
I just
pretty-
think of the
pretty
image of
bad.
like somebody getting drawn and quartered. You know, that's
Yeah.
when you tie a rope to each
Yeah.
limb and then
We
pull
know
it
what
up
we
so
know.
the
Yeah,
What,
legend-
we
yeah.
know what it does.
Our
You
audience
also
might
cut out
not
your
know.
stomach.
Yeah, but I just imagine like a whole elementary school's worth of kids like pulling on the ropes like a game of tug of war. I don't know. I just think that's funny in a Monty Python sort of way.
Hilarious.
This is why I'm not a dictator. This is why I'm never gonna
There's
be in
multiple
a place
reasons
of power.
why you're not a dictator, and that's one of the good reasons that you haven't become a dictator.
A reason nonetheless.
Okay, there are two movements in the 1630s led by former peasants to combat corruption that had been growing in Russia to hold its territorial integrity.
I mean,
Just woe on anybody that tries to invade Russia. You are biting off way more than you can chew. Sort of like how we bit off way more than we could chew with some of the subjects we've chosen, which we're not going to get into. But Russia's a big place, and it's maintained the fact that it's a big place simply because
yeah,
once you capture it, what are you going to do with it?
exactly.
It's
The
enormous.
entire infrastructure of Russia is maintained by corruption, and it's just like that's
Corruption.
what's holding it together.
And the infrastructure, like by far, all the time, to be created has been done by prisoners or just prisoners. The
Yeah.
Trans-Siberian Railway, made by prisoners.
With prisoners.
With prisoners, for prisoners, by prisoners. You know.
Well, actually, it was peasants
yeah,
because the status of the peasant had been downgraded to like landowner's slave, and they were forced.
feudalism.
They were forced to support the nation's army.
so just don't be a peasant in Russia.
Yeah, that's pretty easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you
just
know
don't
things
do
are
it.
pretty bad when the local hetman comes out of his hut and says, "All right, everybody, gather around." And well, okay, we're all peasants, right? Well, we've just been downgraded. It's just like, what's lower than fucking peasant? Ox? Like what?
Russian peasant. There's like
Russian
peasant, and
peasant.
then there's Russian peasant. You don't want to be a Russian peasant.
So here's a quote from the thing I was reading.
All right.
Adam O'Leary spoke of priests who officiated weddings and funerals in a drunken stupor. Even the Antioch Archdeacon Paul of Aleppo, free of any Protestant bias, noted that the great number of dissolute and wretched monks. That's a weird sentence.
The dissolute and wretched monks, and yeah, just
So was the
you
point
know.
of that where like they're just drunken monks giving?
Yeah, they
Funerals?
were shitty monks.
All right. I mean, I kind of just assume that
I mean,
like
is it
monks are
bad
drunk.
if everyone's drunk though?
Yes.
Yeah, but this is. Like,
I mean, if everyone's drunk, then they're just part of the party at that point.
yeah, but I feel like there's like a stereotype of like a drunken monk, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, like Franciscan friars making their own mead and
yeah.
like the
they
wine.
just like
and
they
monks
just
in
make
France.
beer and get drunk, and then they're like, "Hoo-hoo!"
Yeah,
They make that
Jesus.
noise.
Yeah, all the time.
Dancing in the courtyard, then like writing on vellum, hungover the next day.
Yeah. Get drunk.
Where do you think all those crazy drawings came from? They were off their tits.
Get drunk, copy books.
There you go.
Anyway, the two movements, which totally sound like 40K names,
Oh boy.
Warhammer 40K,
Ooh,
excited.
I love this.
are the Zealots of ancient piety. That's Nikon.
That does
yes,
sound like
yes.
yeah.
And the Forest Elders.
Both of the yeah.
That's
I mean,
more Warhammer.
Yeah, I would say Forest Elders definitely sounds like a
OG Warhammer.
Well, yeah, like a Wood Elf faction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like the previous one, what was that? The Zealots of what?
Zealots of Ancient Piety.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
The Zealots of Ancient Piety, because I've listened to a lot of like Warhammer lore on YouTube, because it's just fascinating. When you hear a name like that, you know that the God Emperor is just gonna fucking annihilate everything that they were doing.
Yeah,
Like all.
I mean, that is what the God Emperor does.
Exterminatus is the name of the game here. If you have that name,
With that name, everything will die.
pretty much.
The Forest Elder included the monk Capitan. Just remember that.
All right, Capitan.
The monk Capitan.
It's probably not how it's
Was he
pronounced.
sober? All right, I'm gonna say no.
He was a monk from the woods. You see that guy?
He's drunk.
Once in power, Nikon replaced a 2-fingered cross with a 3-fingered one, and a traditional prayer that changed Jesus Christ from our God to Son of God.
Wait, what's a 3-finger cross?
Well, we can't show it.
I mean, okay, well, someone.
Well, the 3-finger cross.
Oh,
it's like
oh!
the
When you're
Italian-
doing,
yeah, it's
wait,
like
when
the
you're
chef's
doing the
kiss,
cross.
but with only 3 fingers.
No. When you're holding your fingers like this, audience.
Oh, like that. Oh, you're holding it like that. He just
'Cause
did it with
it-
3 fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that represents the Holy Trinity,
Yeah, because this is just,
the God and the Father, the Christ and the Father.
yeah.
Oh, so he added a 3rd finger.
I'm
and
holding
people
my
were like,
thumb to my
"Whoa."
finger.
Yeah, like you're pinching something.
Yeah,
like
like-
you're pinching your cousin at Thanksgiving.
Right. Okay. All right. That makes more sense.
Like you're dropping salt on.
I was just unaware that like crosses had fingers, so I was a bit confused.
Yeah, and the 3-point one is like the guy doing the Salt Bay
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
For all those that can't see this, for which is everyone, they're just doing a lot of like finger motions. So yeah.
Capitan still kept his values true and claimed the world was coming to an end.
That's a good angle. That's a good corner to work, honestly. I mean, just always say that the world's going to end because
I mean, you gotta-
everyone's going to be like, the majority of people are going to be like, well, I mean, it might, and
Yeah.
I'd rather be on the safe side. So
You gotta stick with the OG hits, man. If you're starting like it's just like world's coming to an end, apocalypse
absolutely.
stuff, like show up and be like, man, like
Because
God's a coming. He's gonna explode
secretly-
all the things. Like
secretly, some of us kind of want the world to end because our lives are so shitty that like we actually find the idea of the reset button just being smashed like quite enticing.
yeah, and we're
Because
not
then,
like Russian
like,
peasants.
all the
so.
systems and hierarchies that I failed in are gone. So that means I can invent my own, and the competition pool has been drastically reduced.
So that's why you want an apocalypse?
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I love Fallout 3. Like, I love playing those
You
games.
realize you probably wouldn't survive an apocalypse.
Absolutely not. Nope.
Okay, all right.
Nope, absolutely not.
Just making sure you
Absolutely
understand
not.
that.
The
like,
first time a guy with like chainmail armor and like a horned helmet with an AK like runs into my house, like I'm just gonna suck him off because like that's it. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm probably sitting on the couch in my blown out apartment, like just petting my cat.
he's
and
like,
then-
"Do you have any beans?" You're like, "I can give you a blowjob." He's like, "I don't want one, sir." You're like, "No, I'm gonna suck your dick.
I'm gonna
suck your dick, chainsaw man."
Then he's gonna be like, no,
Just
no,
give me your
I just
food.
want
It's
food.
like-
I don't want. I'm not like that. It's like, you're gonna get it, and then then he runs away. Then I think to myself,
I just
think I
sexually
found-
assaulted
I
a
sexually
chainsaw
assaulted
man. Yeah.
a wasteland raider, and he ran away. But hey, who's he gonna report me to? There's no HR in the apocalypse, you know. So things are great.
Way to make the apocalypse uncomfortable, Mike.
Okay.
We were talking about Capitan.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, he was a forest elder. He slept on an iron loop suspended from a hook in the ceiling and subsisted on berries, bread, and fruit.
How was he eating the berries and fruit if he was doing a basement Sundance ritual?
Well, I mean,
he slept there.
yeah, he
didn't
just slept. He wasn't
live, he wasn't like suspended
like
all
you
the
can
time.
still eat berries even if you're suspended by loops.
No,
like-
is this where he slept?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
but
this where
even
Cirque
still,
du Soleil started?
yes, this guy.
He became especially popular with the lower classes for this aestheticism. Remember that word?
Yes.
You remember? What's it mean?
It means the worship of the church itself.
No.
I mean,
Worship of the church.
No, severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence.
Okay, well, just like St. Basil, then.
I mean, I feel like he's just like no forms of indulgence, but I like sleep on loops suspended from the ceiling. Like that's pretty hardcore. Like if you were to like walk in and someone's like sleeping on loops, you're not going to be like, this person does not indulge in
I gotta
anything.
say, I feel like this is a combination of like people that were really into BDSM before they knew what BDSM was,
Right.
and then they just converted it into like a religious sort of thing, and then everyone else around it sort of watched it like we watch Jackass today, and that's why we appreciate it. With like an overarching umbrella of like God permits it, just sort of,
I sleep on loops and eat berries. People are like sick.
Yo, that guy's fucking metal.
Sweet.
Metal as
Fucking
shit.
sweet.
Yo, you
That's
hear about this
awesome.
guy? You hear about Four Loops
Yeah.
Danny?
Four loops. By the way, don't fuck anybody. Also, don't say fuck.
Oh, yeah. They saw this monk as a true representation of the people, unlike Nikon. You remember him?
Because you sleep on loops, you're a real representation
Nikon was
of the
the
people?
eye guy, right? The one that stole all the
Yeah,
eyes.
he had power and wealth. He was the
Yeah,
patriarch.
I mean, that's pretty boring. That's just like, this guy sleeps on loops. Nikon just stole eyes. It's like,
Yeah, guy just likes to
Stupid.
guy just likes to fuck up artwork. He's
Yeah.
he's a vandal at that
like,
point.
why? Why are you doing this? He's like, this is my thing. Steal eyes. It's like,
Cue
well,
the
I
fucking-
sleep on loops. And it's like, damn. Wish I thought of that.
His beliefs had such a huge influence that the earliest old believers were called Capitoni, because his name was Capitan. You get it?
Yeah.
You get
I mean,
it?
that's
I
Yeah.
have real, like, I don't know, you said capitoni, and I immediately thought that must be a kind of style of pasta from somewhere. That must be. Get us the bowl of capitoni.
I feel like if you say, you
They're a
can
bunch
make
of loops.
anything sound like pasta if you say it like
Capitoni.
that.
Yeah, they're just, instead, like, the steel, like, loops that he slept on, they're just, like, round loops of pasta.
Yeah.
Like, big SpaghettiOs.
I don't think that we're talking about. Are we talking about the same person?
Guys, I'm
Okay, all right. I guess we're talking about the same.
I'm
person.
ADHD and I'm drinking, so you just bear with.
You're self-diagnosed.
Okay? Yeah.
Also, they're Russian, not Italian. You can't make everyone Italian, Nick.
I can try.
So
I can try.
time went on, and the world had not ended. So the issue of universal celibacy, which they thought was the only way to escape doom of the Antichrist.
Oh, that's why. Okay,
That does
because they
make
thought
sense
okay,
now,
they thought
yeah.
the world was going to end anyway, so it's like why would we have kids?
Well, no. It was like they wouldn't get like. So basically, they avoid fucking, so they don't get fucked by the end of the world. Like that was what they're doing. Yeah.
They're
So
trying,
like
to, they're
when the
trying
world,
to avoid Chainsaw Guy.
When exactly. But when the world doesn't end, and you're like, you guys don't fuck, because when the world ends, like if you had fucked, you guys would be fucked. But like when the world doesn't end,
It's
like,
like,
it's
I'm
like,
75, I'm barren, or back then it would be like, I'm 24, I'm barren.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's
I
like,
wasted my life.
I mean, it's just you got a bunch of people that are very, very thirsty and like just no outlets.
Just
And you're
jizzing
just
out
like,
of their eyeballs.
why haven't I done anything? It's like, well, trust me though, the world's gonna end like next week.
You can prophesize more if you want.
You just keep prophesizing. It's like,
Yeah.
really don't want to prophesize.
Don't they
really
always-
kind of want to do something else.
Yeah, with these doomsday cults, don't they usually always, like, when the world doesn't end at this pre-specified date, they always come up with some, like, weird last-minute change
yeah.
where they're like,
Well,
oh,
no,
it's
they
actually...
always go back to the book and they're like, well, I
Oh.
reread this passage
Yeah,
and
we got the math wrong.
I was off by a year, maybe 2.
Yeah, I forgot to
Also,
carry
when
over
am I
the
going to
zero.
die? Let's just say 8 years after I die. That sounds about right. That sounds good.
The OG form of covering your
Yeah,
ass.
no, but it's like that's the problem. Is that doomsday cults are a great way about they bring in a bunch of people initially, right? Because it's just
Yeah.
like the world's gonna end, and people are like, "Oh shit!" And then the world doesn't end, and people go, What's it? Come on, I've been doing all this bullshit to avoid not being like raptured in the apocalypse, and now all of a sudden the world's not ending." Like, so they get massive blue balls. Because that's essentially what's
They
going
get
on. here.
apocalypse blue balls.
Apocalypse blue balls. Yeah.
Apocalyptic blue balls.
Yes. Especially if they
I
can't
like
fuck. Like it's rough.
So this was a dividing line for the followers.
You know that thing? Yeah,
was
that's
a
what happened.
schism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got quite grumpy.
Fedosi Velsiva, let's say that, leader of Fedosivzim.
Yes, I agree. Shit.
Yeah,
I mean, you're pointing at a screen. I can't see it.
you're not going to be able to read it.
I will. I'm gonna.
We need a teleprompter.
We're just gonna go with Fizovshivs.
Refuse to take an oath of celibacy.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But
It's so good. It's so good. This guy's just like, you know what?
We fucking.
I'm fucking.
We fucking.
You guys can do what you want. I'm
We fucking. We fucking.
Yeah.
Over here, alright?
but
Come
the,
to fuckland.
the Pomeranian,
God loves the Pomeranian.
I'm not saying that right either, so sorry.
Is that another person?
No, this is an old Orthodox church.
Okay.
so that neither sexual intercourse nor marriage would be allowed in the age of the Antichrist.
Dude.
Dude, shit's too hot to bone.
So
It's too hot. It's
can't get married, can't fuck.
God, mosquitoes everywhere. They get
It's just
both
right.
killer
Because
immediately.
when we think of like the world's coming to an end and apocalyptic terror, we're just like I envision people just like not fucking.
Yeah,
just like going around
it's
like
too stressful.
not like consumed with hedonistic behavior. It's just like no.
It's too hot today.
Yeah.
We
World's
cannot.
coming to an end, and we're just gonna like I don't know, read the Bible and get sad, eat spaghetti.
I mean, that'd be a good time to like switch to being keto.
Yeah,
I guess.
I suppose.
So guess who took to the faith?
Like 3 people, and one of them was named Jabomsabich.
Partly.
All right.
The Streltsy.
Oh my god! Of course. Okay, the Streltsy.
The
The
Streltsy.
only keep in mind before this episode, the only reference I had to the Streltsy was from the movie Night at the Museum
Wait, that's in that?
with Ben Stiller.
That's in there?
For a moment, Ivan the Terrible is in that movie. He comes
Mm-hmm.
to life, and then he's just, my Streltsy will kill you. And then it's just like 3 dudes that are just covered in chainmail, including their face, which actually looks kind of badass.
That is-
not even eye holes, just like their whole face is chainmail.
That's a cool look. It's a cool look.
And huge axes. And I was like, oh, the Streltsy, I should look into that.
Still feel like
And I never
chainmail
did.
on your face would.
Well, think about it. It's like mesh gargles.
Yeah, but like you get hit in the
Gargles,
face with a
goggles.
sword, you're still like fucked.
It wouldn't cut you, but it would shatter your
Yeah,
face.
you would
though.
be like.
Well, they had helmets on, too.
I suppose. I mean, it's like I feel like aesthetically that looks like like I can envision
It's
that. It's
terrifying.
really terrible. Yeah, it's badass.
It's like a
It's
Dementor
super
from
badass.
Harry
But
Potter
like,
coming into your house, but it's
but like
metal.
someone hits you in the face with a sword, you're just gonna like.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, you're gonna like not be able to see
That's
anything.
a sharp,
yeah.
like 6-pound bar of
It's
steel just smacking into
You're
your
like,
face.
well, I wasn't cut, but my nose is broken and I'm blind.
My jaw shattered, my teeth are falling out.
Yeah, but I'm not cut.
You want to tell us about the
All right,
Streltsy?
yeah, tell us about the Streltsy.
Okay, so the Streltsy,
So Ben Stiller is at the museum. All right.
and he's just running away from these guys in chainmail,
Yeah.
but they can't see
Yeah.
because they got
Yeah,
chainmail.
and they're
over
just
their
like,
eyes.
"We're not gonna fuck you."
Yeah, pretty much. Just
All right.
screaming in Russian, I'm not gonna fuck you. And which I don't know would be comforting and also terrifying to me because they would. I feel like they would hurt me, but like possibly kill me.
I mean,
but I'm
the
not
thing
gonna
is,
get raped.
I don't
though,
speak Russian, so anyone screaming anything in Russian is just gonna horrify me.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
even if it's just like, "I have a present for you," I
No,
would
they
be
could
like,
screaming,
"Please don't
I
murder
made
me, sir."
pierogies. Where are you running?
Yeah.
And it would still be bad.
Please tell us about the Streltsy.
Okay,
The
so-
Streltsy.
We're an order in Russia. They were an elite unit created by Ivan the Terrible.
Yeah.
And these guys were, they were like musketeers, essentially. They had the old form of a musket, which was a matchlock musket. And it was very long, 4 feet long, because they hadn't really figured out rifling yet or making very precise smoothbore weapons.
Those idiots.
So, yeah, I know, right? So they had that, very long-barreled rifles without any rifling, so very inaccurate. And since these things were so long and heavy, they would have a supporting arm, which was sort of like a walking cane, but like any
Oh,
other
it's like
country,
the
like
stick
Spain.
things.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so for those of you that play Warhammer, they're like the Britons with their like cannon.
Yes,
things.
yes.
Yeah.
Or for some of you who have a life and actually
you.
get like a history degree, they're like the conquistadors with the guys with the 12 apostles powder flasks.
You know,
across
I like
their
my
chest.
fantasy example rather than
They're
rather
based
than the
off
real
of the
life
real thing.
but the fantasy one's cooler. So you know,
They're almost very similar. So instead of like a little walking cane with a V notch
Yeah.
cut into it, it was actually a battle axe that they just like put into.
so it was
like
an
a
axe
bearded
on a stick that they put the
Yes,
gun
so
on.
you know how an axe sometimes has a little in-cut loop at the top as well as the bottom? Well, you would just place the muzzle of your rifle in that and hold it and fire. And then if somebody got too close, whap! And that's not whap as in wet-ass pussy. That's in like...
Oh,
you
okay. Really?
Chop a dude in half.
I think
Oh,
or in
all
this
right.
case, chop a peasant in half.
it's more of a bop than a whap.
Yeah,
No, it's a blood-curdling,
it'd
bone-crushing
be like a schlang,
slice.
a schlong.
It's,
No, a schwang.
it's more of a... Hold on, I'm good at sound effects. It's,
All right.
it's more of a...
That's what that's the sound of an axe.
a big, long battle axe used to support a rifle.
Can you spell that out for me?
Yeah. No, spell it. Spell
it's,
it.
SSW
I don't care.
SHGHKRRSH.
Yeah, that checks out.
Okay. So there's that. So this was an elite unit. The only thing is, though, they didn't recruit like you would conventionally think modern military units recruit. They became like a social structure. So it's like, as my friend put it, if 82nd Airborne paratrooper, like no one could just become an 82nd Airborne paratrooper. Like you had to be the son of a Streltsy in order to become a Streltsy.
Right, but does that really make you an elite unit, or are you just saying you're an elite unit?
You would assume
because I feel like the example of like whenever someone's like, you know what works really good in every power structure, a bunch of fucking nepotism, right?
Yeah.
So this is like, it's like we're an elite unit. It's like,
Well,
why? Because my dad was an elite unit, and he said I'm an elite unit, and he said I'm the best, and I got a gun axe.
Well, that's a typical view to take in our postmodern times. But keep in mind, back in those days, they didn't have fucking phones or the internet.
Yeah.
So how else were they supposed to like?
How else were they supposed to do anything? I don't know. Maybe like merit and ability rather than nepotism.
I would like to assume that back in the day that they had like some sort of like, okay, you're the son of a Streltsy. We have a specific school you go to, so then you get trained properly and everything. Or maybe we just rely on your father to train you in his craft. But I'm sure there are varying degrees of competency within that narrative, and I'm sure there were just some idiots.
I'm just saying, whenever you're like, it's like whenever there's just this organization that's just passed down like genealogically, it's like usually it's like bad. It's bad.
I agree.
Usually it's bad.
I agree completely.
So tell me why this one wasn't bad.
Because they follow the old believers.
They follow the old believers, and also, well, that's neither here nor there.
Wait.
But I think it was probably good for like the first 3 generations, and then after that, just I'm sure it went to shit. They were also firefighters.
They actually had a lot of rebellions.
Yeah,
they had a lot of rebellions. They were also firefighters.
So at this point, they're fucking, right? So they following
they're not fucking.
But then how are they passing on
the Streltsy are fucking.
So the Streltsy are part of this religion that's
they
passed
adopted the
on.
religion. They probably adopted the religious half of the schism where you can fuck.
They're part of the old faith.
Okay, so then how are they passing on
because the old faith was way back when.
No, I'm saying they're part of the old believers, which is the God's people.
Okay.
Yes, the God's people, which probably they weren't aware of the schism or anything like that. So
it sounds like maybe they just like stole kids. Because
I feel like they fucked and they
they probably just fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. So
okay, all right. So they were firefighters. That means they went and they put out fires in buildings, right?
Yes, but here's the thing, though.
Okay,
they weren't a bucket brigade.
So how did they put out fires?
Okay, here's how they did it. Mm-hmm. Their main objective was to keep the fire from spreading.
Okay.
So instead of going with a bucket brigade and trying to put out the fire, and keep in mind this is like Russia. A lot of the buildings back in this time were made out of wood. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of log cabins tightly packed together.
Yep.
So except for if it was like a royal building or a religious building, even then most religious buildings were probably made out of wood. So the whole city would be a tinderbox, like London. Mm-hmm. Their mission was not to use buckets, but to destroy all the houses that were surrounding the building that was on fire. So technically, a very extreme form of an urban fire trench.
So they're not really firefighters so much as they are like building fighters that are adjacent to fires.
They are damage control at a net loss.
We can smash stuff. We're going to go in and smash stuff.
Well, they had those big axes.
Yeah.
So they just
imagine they probably shot the buildings too. I mean, that had to happen.
A musket ball isn't running at a high enough velocity to do any significant damage. And there's single shot guns too.
This is more of like I bet they just tried it. Like, let's see if we can shoot this building down.
I'm sure Yevgeny was like, brothers, how about I try to do this? I will fire. Yeah, Pavel, no, you cannot do it, okay? Stop doing it. Grab the fucking axe. We are going to destroy the monastery next to the thatch hut, okay? The thatch hut is on fire. We're going to destroy the church so then the whole fucking neighborhood does not burn down. Put down the fucking gun. It's like, no, I think I can. And then they just, slapped him on the head. Mm-hmm. And then,
That's it.
Yeah. That's it. They just slapped him.
Yeah, then Yevgeny spiraled into a depression because no one could see his vision and drank himself into an early grave.
That's unfortunate.
That was a Streltsy.
Yeah.
That little segment. Mm-hmm. Okay, so naturally the old believers were struggling with Nikon's new views on death.
What was his view on death?
That Son of God.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait, no, I missed that.
Holy Trinity is different.
Okay.
Changed Jesus from our God to Son of God.
Oh. Okay, so they're struggling with that. That was the big.
Well, this guy. I was
Okay.
going to say...
Well, it's sort of like the Protestants and the Catholics. Like, is Jesus actually God, or is he just the Son of God?
Oh, right.
and Archpriest Avacum. I'm just going to say it like that.
All right,
Well,
back
maybe
him.
you should just say it a bit slower.
Vacum.
Avacum?
Yeah.
Avacum.
No, I don't like that.
Vacum. We're calling him Vacum.
Vacky.
Vac.
Vacky?
Mr. V.
Are you going to remember that?
No.
Vacuum, yes, I'll remember vacuum.
It's a vacuum.
Avacum.
Avacum. Indicated that the patriarch was the Antichrist. As you do.
The
Yeah.
patriarch was the Antichrist.
Yeah, Nikon.
Nikon
Okay.
was the Antichrist.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
just
this seems like-
it's just a whirlwind of like cameras in my head and like images.
This is just like, I feel like this is just what happens.
The
Someone's
word
just like, I don't
Nikon
like
really
you.
throws me
You're the
off.
Antichrist.
I'm just seeing Ashton Kutcher giving like
This
commercials
is
for
what
cameras.
This is not, you're just visioning Ashton
You're
Kutcher
still
right
stuck
now.
on Nikon, aren't
You
you?
gotta
All the
get
stronts
past-
you
you
look
gotta
like
get
Ashton
past-
Kutcher
you
to
got-
me. It's just an army of Ashton
You gotta
Kutchers.
get past his name, Nick. It's like he's being accused of being the Antichrist. That's some real shit. You don't want to be the Antichrist, Nick. I'm
I
like,
suppose.
yeah, but like cameras, though. And that's another beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow, that was quite
that was very noisy.
Sploosh.
Okay, Avacum saw this corruption in the Russian church, bringing in the connection of the orthodoxy.
So what was the corruption? Was it just
There was
just generic corruption?
remember the peasants were like downgraded to like land slaves.
Oh, okay. But then they rebelled again. So was the corruption them being downgraded? I thought the peasants were
Yeah.
like rebelling.
No, that's later.
Okay, so the corruption is just like some person was like, you're now lower than peasants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the Russian government or the Russian government? I mean, the Tsar that said that peasants are
The patriarch.
the patriarch of the church?
Oh.
I mean, that seems like a bad
Well,
move
because
on his part.
because the patriarch is usually in reference to the church of the Russian Orthodoxy.
Well, the patriarch was in charge at the moment.
Okay,
Okay.
and he just started to dunk on peasants.
He
Which
was trying
seems-
to connect religions, man.
He's trying to connect religions by dunking on peasants.
Yeah, that's how you do.
I don't know if that's a good way to do it.
No, you just kick everyone to the same curb equally.
You stomp on everyone's throats
Yes.
the same amount,
Yes.
and that way they're all equal and connected in their fucking hatred of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Okay, so Avacum, he didn't like this. Called the guy Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
He was repeatedly exiled. First to Siberia, and then able to return to Moscow when Nikon was no longer the patriarch. He was then exiled to Mezin, but able to return to Moscow again for the church council in 1666, and then later exiled to... I'm not going to be able to say this.
That's one thing that I like about Russian culture, honestly, is apart from like when it was in the Soviet Union, they are very hardline about the decisions they make, but they're not very good at enforcing it. They're kind of like, you're fucking banished, and like 6 years later, you show up and they're like,
Yeah, but I feel
All
like
right.
it's. But dude,
Okay, I'm trying to read a word here.
all right, you're reading the word.
Pustoltyorsk.
Okay, can we come up with a fun nickname for that?
Pusty.
Poots.
Okay.
Pusty.
So
Poost.
I feel like it's a very common
We'll just
thing
call it
for like
Pootsie.
Russians to be exiled to Siberia, but people like live in Siberia, right?
Yeah, people live full time in Siberia.
Right. So like,
it's a
where
rough life.
where do you exile the Siberian peasants to? Like
Mongolia.
Mongolia? They go to Mongolia. Okay.
No.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so he was exiled to Pusti
Pusti.
in 1667.
Where is Pusti? Do we know where
It's
Pusti
by
is?
the Arctic Circle.
Oh,
It's
so it's
up
like
there.
it's even
Yeah.
colder.
Yeah.
The only kind of people that live up in the Arctic Circle are the Native Americans of Russia, which I forgot their name. It's like the Nancy or something.
You're going to miss the meat. He spent the next 14 years of his life in a pit before being burned to the stake in...
That sucks.
14 years of it in a pit?
Yeah, the pit got worse.
I mean, of course he was in there
you
for
said-
14
what do you
years.
mean? Okay, yeah, we understand the pit's bad. I was like,
No,
oh,
I'm
it's a
sa-
pit, whatever,
I'm
that's
saying
fine.
The pit was acceptable, but then it got way worse.
Wait, he was okay with the pit?
I'm saying the pit... They
What
changed
kind
the
of
pit.
pit are we talking about here? Are we talking
Yeah,
about
we got
like,
to expand on this.
Are we
pit.
talking about one of those like cave houses in Turkey where
It's
it's
just
like
a hole filled with poop.
That's
I'm not sure what the pit was. But I know
if it's Russia, I just know that it's horrifyingly depressing.
Yeah, a hole filled with poop.
Well, I meant it became that in his like last 4 years, I think.
Oh, so he was.
It was like an okay pit at the beginning.
It started out fine, and then
Was
he
there
was
a
eventually
roof
like,
at least?
I feel like if there's a roof, it's not a pit.
I think there was.
It's a dugout at that point.
Yeah.
I think there was a roof because he made jokes about the ceiling.
Oh, I mean, that's like not even a
This
pit.
guy was in a literal pit in Siberia. What the fuck? Like, this is... Thank God the Russians never fucking invaded, because we would be done for. Like,
You'd be in a pit.
Done for.
You'd be in a
We'd
pit.
all be in pits.
No, I'd be fine. You'd be in a pit.
Oh, you'd be... Okay, Mr. Warhammer 40k over here.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the fucking Cossack's gonna kick in your door, kidnap your dog,
Yeah,
and
then I'd squat, and he'd
then
be
he's
like,
gonna be
"You're
like-
okay."
Yeah,
and
he's-
you would be like, "Pasta," and they'd be like, "In the pit."
In the pit.
Throw him in the pit.
Fucking Guido.
Yeah.
Get the fuck in the
Yeah.
pit.
Yeah, and then I'd squat my way over to the pit, and I'd be like, "Hey, Nick."
Yeah,
How's
you'd
it-
be
how's
in,
it going in
in
the
a
pit?
crisp, clean uniform of the enemy. It's like, how's it going? And I was like, oh, you've done well under the regime change, I see, Daniel.
You'd be surprised how far squatting will get you.
Yeah, even though I'm the only one in my friend group that can Cossack dance,
Yeah, that's true.
which is
Great.
weird. I would actually just do that. I'd be like, hey, I'm Italian, but then I'd get on my squat,
See, that's the problem. Is
and
the
they'd
first
be like,
part.
ooh.
Yeah, you said
In
it.
my
Sarah.
Sergio Tacchini tracksuit, which it's
Showing
not
much.
an Adidas tracksuit, but it's a tracksuit nonetheless. Squat down, put on my Finnish Cold War boots, which look like Soviet officers' boots, and then just start doing the little...
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
kick?
take it back. We'd all be killed
They'd
immediately.
be like-
yeah, we'd all die.
Yeah.
We'd all die. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd laugh for a little bit, then like one bald guy with a cigarette just holding his AK with one hand would just pop me in the head,
Yeah,
and then that
yeah,
would
that-
be
I
it.
feel like
That's
he's
how
shooting
that
your
would go.
feet to make you dance faster. so-
Yeah.
Let's see how faster this debil can dance, and where were we? What? That was a
Pits.
journey.
Okay,
Pits.
he-
Okay,
Pits.
yeah.
Pits.
He was burned at the stake
Oh.
after the end. But
Well,
during
not great.
Avacum's time under Nikon, not the camera.
What the fuck? I mean, you put a guy in a pit for like the rest of his life, make him live in a
He
pit.
wasn't in the pit for the rest of his life. Eventually, he came out of the pit.
And then he
was
got
put
burned
on the
at
stake.
then he got
Yeah.
put like what? You're gonna put him on a stake after that? How fucking bored are you out in Siberia?
I feel like they're just mean.
Yeah, because they're bored.
You don't even know how mean they get.
I think, okay, they get meaner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
So he formed the Old Believers under Nikon,
Mm-hmm.
a group of Russian Orthodox people who did not like that the Greek Orthodox were being uniformed with their current religion.
Okay. Wait. So the
Okay, so what about the Greek Orthodox?
They were being combined with the Russian Orthodox.
Oh, okay, because there's Greek Orthodoxy, there's Russian Orthodoxy,
Alright.
there's different
Orthodoxy.
within-
Throw
You
people
know
in
about
the pit.
Greek.
Yeah.
Greek I don't know much about Greek Orthodoxy, but I've done most of my research on Russian Orthodoxy.
Yeah. All I know is that there's like a chair somewhere that people can't move, and they get really grumpy about it, and it has something to do
Yes,
with
you
some
can't
of these
move, and
things.
there are also no pews in the churches in Russian Orthodox churches. It's just a mass where you stand the entire time.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's not
I
fun.
thought those wooden pews were a pain in the ass as a Roman Catholic. I mean, just standing the entire time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
Although,
no bueno.
Russian Orthodox churches, like, they're very pretty. They're really pretty, though. Like, there's a lot
That's
of
cool.
mosaics and icons. There's candles everywhere. Everyone's dressed really nice.
You just
like-
can't sit down.
You can't sit down, but I mean,
Are you dunking on our churches?
our churches are kind of shit over in the U.S., and that's totally because of, like, a historical thing. Like, we kind of had to put up our churches pretty quickly over here. So, if your church is an abandoned Pizza Hut, like, listen, all the power to you. I'm glad you're worshiping. I'm glad you have a guiding light in your life. But, like, come on, have someone paint something on the wall. Try
Like a
try
big
to make-
old dick.
I mean, I feel like a lot of these churches
No.
are probably like really nice on account of the fact that they just had like way too much power and like could like zonk people left and right.
Yeah,
and,
there was
like,
also that,
yeah.
but also, like, the fact that you were going to a better life after you died was the only solace these people have. It's hard for us to imagine how, like, shitty life was back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very hard. Like, we can say it, but, like, life was fucking horrifying back then. Like, half your kids died at childbirth, like, most of your
not
kids
ideal.
just, like, died when they were 3 because of some disease because you didn't know what bacteria was. Like,
Diseases are
the
complicated.
fact that you, like, knew that there was a nice building in the middle of town that represented the beautiful place you were going to go to after you died, which was probably very soon, that was a huge comfort to them. Like, then,
we get one nice thing.
yeah, you get one nice thing, but
One nice
it's
thing.
the ultimate nice thing, though.
Yeah.
So, then, of course, people get corrupted by it. People that control the idea of that nice thing get to power. Power goes to their head, and they take advantage of it, and
They send people and put people in pits.
they put people in
put
pits.
people in
Yeah,
pits,
they
yeah.
put people in pits.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Nikon's action had made him many enemies, obviously, and was forced to relinquish the throne to Alexei Mikhailovich,
Oh.
a close friend of his. They were called bosom buddies.
That
Alexei
seems-
Nickelback? What did you say?
Mikhailovich.
Mikhailovich.
Yep.
Mikhailovich.
Mikhailovich.
Mickey, Alexei Mickey.
I'm
his
just going to say
friend.
Mikhailovich.
But in 1658, the former patriarch Nikon, who did not officially give up his title, went to live in the New Jerusalem monastery and founded the town Istra, or if you want to say it,
Istra.
yeah. For 6 years, the Russian Orthodoxy...
People that are Russian are going to listen to this episode and they're going to be like, why is there's an Italian here pronouncing Russian names with an Italian accent?
Yeah.
They're going to be like, this is weird. Continue. I'm sorry.
For 6 fucking years, the Russian Orthodoxy remained without a patriarch until, quote, on December 12th, 1667, the Synod...
The Synod.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it. Pronounced Nikon guilty of reviling the Tsar and whole Muscovite church.
Muscovite Church.
Thank you. And deposing Paul, Bishop of Kolomna, contrary to the canons, and of beating and torturing his dependents. That's the quote.
So he just...
So there was so Judge Judy was on the scene, and there was a court case of People's Court, and the defendants lost. So in retribution and for losing, they were just getting the shit kicked out of them.
Okay. So wait. So this guy was... The people got mad at him for beating people, or they beat him because... Wait, what was it? Who got beaten?
His dependents.
Oh, so that's not
His
good.
his defendants or dependents?
Dependents.
Oh, his dependents. Okay, so the people that relied on him ended up getting the shit kicked out of them.
They didn't go in a pit.
You know, this is what happens when you don't have TV or the internet, guys. Like, you know, we like to complain that we've gotten lazy and soft and all this shit, but you know what? People were going through their whole lives not knowing what was going on and not having much of anything happening. And then something crazy like this would happen, and then just the shit would hit the fan, and people would just... All that pent-up angry rage that they've had...
The Crusades.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, you know, it just turned into a World Star video every 4 years.
It's just like, yeah, now we have TV, so we don't just randomly go around beating each other.
I would love to invent a time machine and just send, like, a handful of people back to every corner of the world and just have, like, a hidden cell phone with them, just so then they could record, like, these crazy things happening and then post it on World Star.
That's what you would use a time machine for. Of
Yes.
all the things you could do.
It would be a sobering view into the past of humanity.
He's like, well, I could kill Hitler, but, you know, instead I'm going to record people getting beaten.
No, you never want to do anything like that. You
I'd
never
kill
wanna
Mengele.
Hitler. Mengele? No, you don't want to kill anyone that was a
I
main
feel
player.
like you could maybe kill Hitler. You could maybe get him. Just be like bibbity bop.
But then
No, just send him to art school.
Yeah, just make sure he gets accepted.
send him to art school.
Yeah.
Chill him the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
What if Hitler, instead of becoming a crazy fucking dictator that just destroyed all of Europe, what if he ended up going to, like, art school, and then we just look back at him today as like, yeah, he made amazing art.
No,
but
He
no,
didn't.
his art was
anti-Semite.
like
It wasn't bad.
It was just meh. Yeah.
boring. It was
Yeah.
just like dogs.
Yeah.
Boring dogs.
Yeah, just like George Bush with his art after.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
he's-
George Bush's art's actually, it's pretty bad. But it's like, it's George Bush, and you're like, you feel like he's trying his best.
Yeah, you're just glad he's not, ordering people to send drones into Middle Eastern countries. You're just happy that he's at home safe doing art and not doing too much damage.
So Nikon
Nikon.
was stripped of all his sacerdotal functions and only to be known as Monk Nikon.
So he's-
Inventor of amazing cameras.
oh my god.
I'm sorry, I'm going to beat this to death. I can't. God. It's amazing. I love it.
I'm going to beat to death, and I'm going to burn it at stake.
I thought Monk Nikon was pretty funny.
Monk Nikon?
Yeah, I thought
Thank
that
you.
was
He sees the light. Why can't you, Brother Dan?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You've had a long day.
Yeah. Continue, Monk Nikon.
Sorry, my water's gone.
Okay, so we're following Nikon. He got all his friends beaten, and he's a monk now.
Yep.
And now what is he gonna do?
We're not going to worry about him.
Oh, he's just gone. Poof. Well, that was fun.
He went into the annals of history.
Avecum thought this removal of Nikon would be the return of the old ways, but Alexei, the Tsar,
This was Nikon's friend, right?
What time?
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
year was this?
I don't know.
I don't want
16
to. I don't want to put you on the spot here.
I think
but
it's like
what year was-
1660s. It's probably 1658.
Okay, all right. So
No,
this
wait.
might have been around the time
16,
the whole
16.
war with Poland and Sweden.
This might have been around the time that Europe was fighting each other.
Okay, the time period where the game Mountain Blade with Fire and Sword took place.
I never played Mountain Blade.
It's for dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You
Yeah.
don't play Mountain Blade?
No, I didn't play Mountain Blade. Sorry, Franklin.
You're one of the few people that I'd imagine would have like played Mountain Blade.
No.
Try Bannerlord. I think you'd actually like it.
All right.
That's the newest one.
So,
Sorry, continue.
Avecum didn't like the connection of Russian to Europe through church reform and was exiled to Pusti. Remember?
Putsy! Y'all's ass is going back to Putsy!
Yeah. Some religious
Y'all
guy
been
didn't like
riling up
another
a storm
religious
over
thing, and they
here.
sent him like to a cold place. This is just what happens.
Yeah, it's just... And people, like, just to let you know, just to let the audience know, people live in Siberia, but they live in Siberia because it's generations of people who know how to live in Siberia.
Yes, yeah.
They know how to live off
They're
the
like
land.
they're
They know
like
how to-
part ice,
Yes, pretty much. Like, it gets so cold that trees explode over there.
which is not good.
It's not good. That means all the moisture in a tree trunk freezes to the point where it reaches critical mass and just goes boom. Like, it's bad. We complain in New Hampshire, but it's bad over there.
They have exploding frozen trees.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
During this time, Avacum had no congregation and therefore no one to preach to.
Uh-oh.
He began to write since he had nothing else to do.
Which they probably wrote on birch bark over there.
All right.
No, I'm serious. No,
No, I believe you. I believe you.
they wrote on birch bark because, they needed the pelts to make clothes out of, so they're not going to make vellum. So they wrote on birch bark, which I kind of actually want to try one of these
You
days.
want to write on birch bark?
You can
Yeah.
do it.
All right.
You can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah, afford it. I can walk into the woods for 3 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't, like, unlike in Russia where they got those exploding trees, you can just, like, grab the
You
birch
gotta be
bark out
careful.
of
You
the
gotta
air.
go into those woods with a minesweeper.
Yeah.
So he also lived with 3 other exiled leaders of the Old Believers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say these names how I want.
Yep. Go for it.
Epiphanius,
Yeah, sounds good.
a monk from the... God, why did I pick a Russian story?
Welcome to tonight's episode, All Consonants.
A monk from the Solovetsky monastery.
Solovetsky.
Nailed it.
I was close. Monastery. Lazarus, a priest from the town of Romanov.
Okay.
And Theodore Ivanov, a deacon from the cathedral.
A deacon.
A deacon from the Cathedral of the Annunciation in Moscow.
Moskva.
You can show your face.
Oh my god.
Avacum grew very close with, I'm just going to call him Epi, who became his confessor. Pretty saucy, right?
They're confessing to each other?
Yeah.
And this is in exile, right?
Yep.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, Schmiegen,
Yes.
you're my confessor.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Nick, you confess to, like, literally everyone. You
Yeah,
walk
no,
down the
I do,
street and
yeah.
you're just like, here's my problems. I'm like, please, sir, I don't know you. You're like,
It's like, hey, do you know how to set up this Google Chrome shit?
please.
Like, homeless Italian guy, please get away from me. Nice tracksuit, but get away.
So they established contact with Moscow and sent letters by hiding them in secret compartments, such as inside a pole axe or a wooden cross.
Oh, that's cool. Inside a poleaxe, like they hollow out the inside and just sort of like put the pommel that hits the ground
Dingling?
over it.
That's right. Oh.
They're like, here, this poleaxe arrived for you.
No, or a guy just shows up with a poleaxe and goes, "Is anyone watching? Hold on."
Yeah.
Here you go.
That's the sound of him pulling out the secret note.
We can probably pause this.
Okay.
Wait, we got to do a ending.
An ending? Is this the end?
We're an hour in.
Dude, we are now in.
And
Wow. Okay, so that
Next
concludes...
time, we find out where the letters... Wait, no. Do we know where the letters are sent to?
Yes.
Okay. Next time, we know where the letters are sent to.
And this is part 1 of the...
8.
No, this is part 1 of the...
6.
Stop it. I should not have given you coffee.
You shouldn't have.
Part
It's
one.
too late for you.
Yeah.
Part 1 of the Freedomites.
Part 1 of the Freedomites.
Maybe a part 3 series.
Maybe a part 2 series.
No, definitely not part 2. We haven't even. I haven't even
It's
got
definitely
halfway
going to
through.
be a part 2.
Wow,
We're stopping
okay.
halfway through the story.
Well, I am intrigued, and I'm glad that my research into the Russian Orthodox Church proved so useful in this episode.
It was very helpful.
I tried to
Your
say
ability
it.
to
I
pronounce
have
things.
2 pages on St. Basil's Cathedral.
Yes.
You can talk
Where
about
is...
it next
What
time.
is that? Oh, no.
It's the church. It's the big cathedral that looks like it's made out of ice cream cones.
Oh.
That's the one.
That's
See,
Saint
immediately
Basil's.
you knew.
I do. Yeah. It's
Like
the
that
Russian church.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
that
Russian
soft
church.
serve ice cream that you get by the lake.
It's just
in
the
winter.
Russian church.
Yeah.
The one where you're just like, huh, that looks weird.
So this is brought to you by Silent Cheese.
Shh, we won't tell.
You can hit the button.
Okay.
Boop, boop.
Dan, you're closer. You hit the
Hit
button.
that
Don't we have to
button.
say, I'll say good, say that this is where, are we like signing off or something?
I don't want to say signing off.
Signing off.
Signing off.
I'm signing off. This is Dan.
Red leader out.
That was Nick. He can't
This
say
is
his
Nick.
name.
Have a good night, folks.